His back is against the wall. That's how President Biden described Vladimir Putin. Russian forces are now stalled in Ukraine.
Putin is now unleashing even more fury on Ukrainian civilians, using hypersonic missiles in his ruthless quest to crush all opposition. CBN's Jenna Browder is in Washington with more.
From Kyiv to Kherson, the Russian military is stepping up its devastating attacks on cities across Ukraine. The White House calls it a sign of Vladimir Putin's frustration.
The more his back is against the wall, the greater the severity of the tactics he may employ.
The Kremlin now resorting to more extreme tactics, like using hypersonic missiles, which can hit targets more than 1,000 miles away at up to 10 times the speed of sound. Kyiv is under a 35-hour curfew due to increased attacks from the air. Nevertheless, Ukrainian forces say they've retaken a key suburb of the capital from the Russians. In Kherson, a show of defiance as civilians protest the Russian occupiers. Video shows Russian forces firing stun grenades on them. It comes as President Zelensky tightens his grip on political parties and media in an effort to control misinformation. Zelensky invoking emergency powers under martial law to temporarily ban activities by 11 political parties and combining all national TV channels into a single information platform. Meanwhile, the humanitarian crisis continues to worsen, with 10 million displaced people, about half of them children. And the president will travel to Brussels on Wednesday for a high-stakes NATO summit. The White House says he'll also visit Poland on Friday. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.
Refugees are arriving in Poland. They're exhausted, traumatized, fearful for the future. And Operation Blessing is there in your name to meet them, offering comfort and much-needed supplies.
Thanks to the support of our donors, Operation Blessing is on the ground in Poland. Team members listen as many refugees tell their stories of escaping the war in Ukraine.
Yesterday, we rode in an overcrowded train where there were numerous mothers with infants. The lights were not lit so the train would not suffer from a bomb attack. Nevertheless, we stopped several times because bombs were dropped nearby.
The trip was very hard by train with children.
After these moms and their kids arrived safely in Poland, they were greeted by a team from Operation Blessing. The women shared how the violence in Ukraine forced them to flee with their children.
This is horrifying. When you stay in your house and a jet flies over your building, it is terrifying to live like that. And believe me, nobody wanted to leave their home. Families are torn because our husbands stayed home to protect our country. We were forced to save our children so they don't die under the shelling from the Russian planes.
It was so hard to leave our country to save my children. I have fear because I'm alone with children in a foreign country.
But Operation Blessing is there on the border with a warm tent and a food truck, ready to provide warmth and safety to these families. Team members take the time to listen and offer encouragement while directing refugees to the next phase of their journey. We're also providing life-sustaining supplies, hot meals, and warm drinks to ease the cold.
I want to return home and I want everything to be like before.
I would truly love to somehow magically make Russian troops get out of our land and for us to return and rebuild our wonderful Ukraine. We love it and want to live in our country.
Thanks to Operation Blessing donors, we will continue to bring relief to these precious families.
If you want to be a part of the relief effort, all you have to do is call us. 1-800-700-7000. Say, I want to give to the Operation Blessing Disaster Relief Fund. You can write to us at CBN Center, Virginia Beach, Virginia, 23463. You can also text OB Crisis to 71777, or you can go to cbn.com. There's a place on the giving page where you can designate your gift. We're working primarily on the border of Poland and Ukraine. That's where our base of operations is. We've got a warehouse. We're shipping out product from there into Ukraine. Then we have all the Orphans Promise Centers within Ukraine, as well as our office. We've been there for over 30 years, so this isn't some new effort. These are existing facilities, existing directors at existing centers who have been providing relief primarily to orphans and distressed families in Ukraine. And now they're being mobilized to help with this wonderful effort to help people in their time of need. If you want to be there, if you want to be there for them, give us a call. 1-800-700-7